guys, it's Joette with BalloonCoach.com, and today I am excited to offer a lunch and learn that was a very much requested topic on photo booths. And so our speaker today is Lenor Ryan of Lights Camera Selfie Balloon Studio. I had the pleasure of meeting her when she came to Orlando for our live balloon training that we host every year, now called Balloon Boss Summit. And we were just going through things that Lenore will actually be coming for her 5th year this November of 2024. So super excited about that. So many of you met Lenore in person at Summit, or you also know her through Balloon Boss Mastermind. So Lenore has been doing selfie booths way before she started working with balloons. And so I'm excited for her to share her knowledge. I know she goes to conferences and really works hard to keep up to date on all the things that she offers for her clients with this. So it's a great conversation for those of you who already own a booth or you've been thinking about buying one, how you can make sure that you make the most of that investment. So without further ado, I am going to stop my share and turn it over to you, Lenore. Thank you so much for your time and your knowledge today. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Perfect.
Hopefully I'll do it right.
You did. And if you need to move our picture down of us, you can to be able to hit your present button.
There we go.
Ta-da, you got it.
So welcome everybody. As Joette said, I actually started as a small marketing company after I left my corporate world, and I started using photo booths at trade shows to capture people's names, phone numbers, questions, and different things. And I was working with a local balloon artist here in my hometown, and at 2 different events, she canceled on the day of the event. So I ended up running to Party City. I'd watched her do it a million times, and it was the ugliest garland, the first one that I've ever seen in my entire life, but I got it up there. And then with that, I started looking for places to learn how to do it. And that was in October or so. And then I came across the BalloonCoach and I started going to Summit. And ever since then, I've learned a ton of things, both business-wise and balloon-wise. And now balloons are technically my #1 revenue source, but photo booths are right there behind it. So I just wanted to share some things that I do, and we can definitely talk about photo booths because I do think it is a good addition to any balloon business, or in my case, balloons into the photo booth business. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at different ways that you can earn additional revenue by adding the photo booth and different types of offerings to your balloon business, and just really focus on added revenue, because the good thing is we should all be looking for somewhat passive income with our businesses. And with this passive income, that's when you purchase something and then it just kind of operates on its own. And this isn't 100% passive, but it does work out that way. And you make one-time investment and then you can use it over and over. I got my first photo booth in 2015. I'm still using it. So now you can, when we get to the numbers, you'll see that I've had many years where I've not had a hard cost of the purchase. I have actually 3 total photo booths, and I just keep buying more because I'm able to do it. A little bit about me, I bought everything and got operating in January 2016. 2018, as I just said, is when I started adding balloon decor, which for me is a lot of fun. And talking about additional revenue, depending on how you create packages, and these are some sample packages that I've pulled off another page, but you can see that the photo booths are a great way to add anywhere from $600 to $1,200 to $1,500 per your event, especially if they're buying balloons. The average photo booth in my market, which is Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Broward County, starts at $600. And you'll see my numbers. I'm actually going to show you my numbers and my sales pieces coming up. So depending on what your market is, and how I determine this is I just went to a bunch of different pages, just like I would for the balloons, and I checked out all these different photo booth companies and I just looked at their rates. A lot of them have it on there. So it is a great source. And for me, if I'm already going to set up the balloons and then I have to go back and tear down, that makes this a perfect event for me for the photo booth, because then I can just add the photo booth. And granted, I've been setting up the photo booth for a while, but it takes me less than 10 minutes to set up my whole photo booth. It takes me longer to do balloons than it does the photo booth. So here's just some different pictures and different things. When you have an event and you're at the event, the whole thing is for people to want to remember the events. They want to focus on the event, and you want to give them an opportunity to have pictures. And with the photo booth, the people can either receive their photos via email or on their cell phone. Sorry about that. And the cool thing about that is, in addition, they can actually just press the Facebook page. They can press the Instagram button, and then it automatically will post it to whichever one. And they're all on there. Snapchat, TikTok, all your choices are there. You actually get to select that. And so what I do is I go in and I put in a standard caption for their picture. And of course I hashtag myself, or my business and the event and stuff. So if they just take the lazy route and they push the button and it's posted, then I'm also tagged in all of those, which is a good thing because I want everybody to see it. And I also put the venue name, because I want, when they put in the venue or they search the venue in Instagram, I want it to come up that my pictures are there, that I'm a vendor at that source. So definitely, with the technology that's out there now, you can be very creative with the photo booth. You can make it an experience more than just snapping a picture. I want them to feel excitement from the moment they see the balloons in the backdrop to where they actually realize that the photo booth is not a scale, that it's actually a photo booth. So there are some hard costs when you start working on a photo booth, and it's definitely 4 major components that you need. The physical photo booth, which is the white portion that you see on your screen right now. And that's what houses your iPad, which is purchased separately. But the iPad is also your operation source. It's the source for everything for taking the pictures, emailing or airdropping the pictures, and all of that. And then the other one is your photo booth management and customization, which is all done in the program. And I use the Salsa program. I stick with everything Salsa. I find it's very easy and simple to use. And then the last thing would be any backdrops and different things that you want to do to enhance the visual aspect of the photos. I actually think you don't really need to buy too many backdrops and stuff, because I always try to sell the balloons as the backdrop. And so it is a first time initial investment, and it is a little significant, but it's also very important to remember that this is a long-term item that you can use over and over, and it will grow your business and your profits. So this is what I purchased, and this is what I would encourage people, if you're looking at a kit, is to purchase the Salsa photo booth, but just get the starter kit. The other kits add a lot of backdrops, and I don't think you're going to want that if you're able to tie in the balloons and different things. And it definitely increases dramatically. I think the next one jumps up to like $5,000, and then the last one is almost $9,000. And if you purchase from this company, which is Photo Booth Supply Company, they actually have a program where they do the financing and they charge you $83 a month, or you can buy it outright, or you can get your own financing and stuff. So that shows you a little bit of what it is. But then there's also, if you see this big asterisk on the left, you do have to purchase the iPad separately. And so you'll see in my numbers coming up on the next couple of screens, it's much higher than the $29.99, just because I included the iPad in there. So in looking at paybacks, this is where you really need to figure out what it is you can do. And this is what I did my first year. Now, I did plug in my numbers for this year, because obviously my first year, the average photo booth was dramatically less. So when you take the cost of the salsa booth and you add in the iPad, it's going to come out to about 4,300 when you do that initial purchase. And so what I'm trying to do is down below, I showed you my two packages, how I sell them. On the left is my bigger package, and on my right is my drop-off service. Now, you may or may not want a drop-off service. Now that I have 3 photo booths, my oldest photo booth is what I use for drop-off because I don't stay, I don't protect it, I don't guard it from the drunk people. I just really don't protect it. So that would be something you would have to consider. So when you also look at it, as you can see on the left side, my big package is $635. But by time I take out my expenses, which in my expenses, I have my photo booth management program, I have my insurance that I pay for it. I have some hard costs. Also, I have in that package, we have a photo booth attendant and I pay them $25. They get to the event 30 minutes before the event. They leave 30 minutes after the event. So that's how it comes up with $100. So you can see my overall profit for a night is $439. In my first year, I averaged 2 of these a month. And so you can see if I was buying this now and just starting and I averaged 2 per month, it would take me 5 months to pay off my photo booth at the purchase price that I have. The second one that I have is on the right. It's a little bit different. It is a drop-off service. We actually drop off the photo booth, we set it up, and we show them how to use it, and then we leave. And we do monitor it. There's some ways you can look to make sure the booth is going, but luckily I've never had to go back. And I didn't start doing this one until I got my second booth, which was in 2020. And in that first year, I did 2 drop-offs per month. And this is a lot of baby showers where there's only going to be 15 or 20 people there and different things like that. So again, shows you if you decide to go with a drop-off route and it's a lower price, for my price, you can see it would have taken 6 months for me to pay back the photo booth, which is what's key. It shows that it is a quick payback. And if you sell more, great, it even goes faster. So what I do is I use 17 hats. So this is a quote that I send out. And the easiest way that I market my photo booth, besides on my Facebook and Instagram, is if you look at the lower portion of this invoice, you can see where it says additional options. And I have both packages listed there. And if the customer decides, hey, I want to add this, they can just click the little black box. And I don't know why something just wrote on my screen. What's going on? So I don't know. Do you guys see that lines? So, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. And
Okay.
somebody was writing, not realizing they were doing it. I'll see if I can turn off the annotations.
Oh, it's okay. It's just more clever. Um, so a lot of times people will just click on the price and add to it. So as you can see, for just the balloon portion of this particular job, my total was $815. And if they add in either one of these services, 17 hats will automatically update that pricing for me. So it works out really good. This is my easiest way to add on. And I would say about 20% of my customers choose to add on the photo booth once I talk about it in different things. So that's one. Then I also do it the opposite way. If you buy balloons from me, or I'm sorry, if you order the photo booth from me for either one of the packages, I immediately turn around and I show examples of my balloon backdrops and I try to sell you a balloon backdrop. So I just turn it around. It's exactly the same thing, but the opposite one. Sometimes depending, I usually know because I ask what their budget is for the event. So I usually know, do I just do a backdrop with a grab and go kind of, or something smaller? Obviously, I always put in a big one. And then I'll put in the little one. On this one, she told me what her budget was, so this would easily fit in her budget. And she also asked what options I had. So this is what I do. then this is something I had learned at a conference. And this has been very successful for me. If you haven't heard the saying, paid money is forgotten money. So when I collect their deposit or their payment 2 or 3 weeks before the event, that money, they kind of forget that they pay it, or they see that the invoice has gone down. And so if I don't have an event, I will write them an email. And usually I do this about 10 days out, because with the photo booth, it does take more time to get it prepped. And I'll offer it to them at this $300 rate. Already going to the event, I'm already setting up, I'm already tearing down. They weren't interested before, but I don't have the booth sold for that night. So why not? So I just have a fun little letter. I offer it for $300. I really promote what it's for, but I give them a really short window to say yes. And I think at this point, when it gets closer to the event, they see $300. It's not that much. A lot of people have purchased this from me as a last minute. In fact, I did an event Wednesday for a fundraiser, and they bought two of my booths. So I got $600, unplanned on the day before.
That is
So
a
there's a
great
lot of
way. I love how you shared how you do that, because I think that's where a lot of people miss out on money, is not making those last minute deals. So that's an awesome tip. Thank you, Lenore.
And I also have that pre-written in my 17 hacks. And so I do have it in my workflow. If I click that they didn't order the photo booth, I automatically click for that to be sent out. And so there's other things you can do to upsell. This is the photo booth where they've wrapped it for a Coca-Cola event. And so you can charge for the vinyl, for the wrapping and all of this. And that's all this is the wrapping. I get a lot of corporate clients that want to wrap it. Sometimes they won't wrap the whole thing, but I also will put their logo on the back of the head of the photo booth. And that I charge them for, and they get to choose that too. So sometimes just having that logo, they want the customers to think that it's theirs and not somebody else's. There's so many events that you can use a photo booth for. These are just a bunch that I wrote down. Just really trying to focus in on different things. If you're doing any of these, pretty much everything you can sell a balloon to, you should be able to sell a photo booth to, and vice versa. Just a lot of different things. I have expanded my trade show to where now I have a special rate. I dropped my photo booth off this morning for a trade show, and it's going to be there today and tomorrow. So I do come up with a rate for that, and it will stay there overnight. The people will help themselves, but I get that at a much higher rate than the 455, because they're going to have it 8 hours today and 8 hours tomorrow. And
A
Joette,
quick,
you had one at your at Float. I noticed you had a salsa at your booth.
yeah, I'm not sure. One that I had was through one of our mastermind members, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was always fun to be able to have people putting their image up. And because a lot of times I wasn't at the booth, it was fun afterwards to be able to see the images. But it
Mhm.
was so fun too, as people come in and just see them be silly doing the different things with the boomerangs. One quick question that came up that I wanted to not forget about is when you were talking about putting the logo on it for your client, the question came up is, did you do that yourself, or do you have someone you outsource that kind of service for?
It depends who it is. Coca-Cola, I outsourced because I wanted it to be perfect. I took it to my sign company and actually gave them the whole thing. I gave them the legs and that because I wanted it to be perfect. If it's a client that's not as picky as that, then I will do it myself. I'll do it on the Cricut and I will put it on there. I know all the measurements. I have the whole wrapping side. I could do the whole thing, but I just get nervous when it's a big client. So
Right.
I've done Dunkin' Donuts, I've done Coca-Cola, I did Lyft. And so with those, I went out to somebody else.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The other question is when you're talking about having it overnight or just it being with a client and not being supervised, is there special insurance that you have in case things are damaged? And how does that work as far as the client being responsible for the damage or for your insurance?
So for my insurance, I have a $500 deductible when it's not within my facility. And as I'm not sure if it's still in there or not, but you'll see I asked them to give me a $500 deposit. And I've only had one time where it got damaged, and the bride and groom, it was actually at an engagement party. And so I told them that 500 was going to cover my deductible, and they didn't complain or anything. With the trade shows, I always ask, a lot of trade shows will have a security guard stay overnight in the room all night long just to protect everybody else's product too. If they have that, then I let it stay set up in the trade room. Or if I know the hotel, like the one today went to the Diplomat Resort, I know that place is locked down. When those exhibitors leave, they lock it up pretty good. So I will be leaving that there also.
And then is there an option if you are there that you can like take your computer out of it, but then the other part of it stays there, or is it pretty much an all or nothing?
For me, it's an all or nothing because you literally have to take the head of the photo booth apart, and it's not, that
Gotcha.
takes me about 20 minutes. So it's an all or nothing. And
Gotcha.
that iPad that I have in my photo booths, I don't use them for anything else but the photo booth. So if I was to use it for something else, I'd have to download everything.
Gotcha.
So I called Photo Booth Supply Company, where I got my salsa from, and told them I was doing this today. And they actually have given $100 off of the pricing if anybody's interested. But better than that, if you scan this QR code and you go to their site, they actually have a pricing calculator, much more detailed than mine. And it can show you, it shows you a whole bunch of different things. That's where I pulled off their packages. So if you're deciding, based on your state, on your area and stuff, just go on there. Even if you don't buy, just play around with it and see if it fits into your numbers. The calculator is very cool. It also shows you all the other things. They supply marketing photos. They supply contracts. You get a lot of service with Photo Booth Supply Co. on a lot of different things, and different terms, different lessons. They have a lady that teaches continuously on there, and they have once a week, they have a class that you can attend. There is a large photo booth conference that happens every February in Vegas. And that conference is amazing, but it's huge. There's gotta be 2,000 people there, but it is pretty amazing. So I just want to thank you for letting me do this today, Joette, and for everybody for coming. And if you would like a copy of this presentation, if you put your email in the chat, I can send it out to you and you can look at it later or anything like that. Joette, I can also give it to you if you want to put it in Balloon Boss or whatever, however you do it when you
Yeah,
do
are you okay for this to go up with the YouTube also for folks?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
For the people who showed up a little bit late to the party, she just showed you the information on who you can contact to purchase that actual one. But can you flip back to the slide that talks about the pricing of how much it costs to do the initial investment? I loved how you showed that. It made it really easy. So the 4,300, it's for the booth, and then also includes your cost to buy an iPad, because you actually do have to buy an iPad to go inside the salsa that Lenor uses.
And it also includes the software, because that's a monthly fee. I did include the first 3 months of monthly fees in this 4,300. So the monthly fees, depending on which package, they have one as low as $39 a month. They have one that's $89 a month. And if you buy the whole year, which is what I did, I think you get 2 months free. But you do have that in there. So that's the third item in there.
That's wonderful. So guys, this is a time, if there's any questions that you have in reference to putting photo booths into your balloon business, feel free to open up your mic and ask. We are still recording because I want to get those good questions on the recording. But then if I don't get any, we'll turn off the recording. Anybody watching this as a replay, in the future, if you want to get into the behind the scenes conversations, come join us live. We have lots of lunch and learns, and we have other trainings that go on throughout the year. So
One of the things I didn't put in this presentation was the actual photo booth backgrounds or borders and different things. That's a whole nother selling opportunity. And I create all my borders. If you've been to Summit, you probably got one that said Balloon Boss Summit and different things on the front. I create all of those in Canva, and I literally keep them. I was looking at a page today and it had like 210 different ones on there because I keep them all. So if I get a repeat client, I have their logo, I have all that. The other big thing that the salsa does is a survey, which I charge extra for. Today, the conference that we're at is a medical equipment conference. And so they were asking questions about which program you use for maintaining your medical equipment. And then that prints out in an Excel spreadsheet in less than 2 minutes. And you actually have, a target list of people to reach out to if they said they don't have one, or we put what month do you think you're going to purchase one? So, and it gets their phone number and different things. And the third thing is if you're trying to build your newsletter mailing list, which everybody is saying is key because that's yours, it's not Instagram's, it's not Facebook, you can turn off the digital phone number and make sure everybody types in their full email. Then you actually have an email list, which is what we did today for the trade show, because the company that hired me to do this, they want the email so that they can reach out and put them on their newsletter. So for a lot of businesses for the trade show, we do the emails instead of the phone numbers. Weddings, different things, I don't need. I mean, I don't think the bride needs their email and stuff, so that I'd use the number. But on the business function, I try to always encourage them to use the email.
That is great tips. And so when you're looking at this, we always talk about, people often don't understand the value of the things that you offer. So when you're working with those business organizations, being able to talk to about how they can capture people's emails at the trade booth, that's going to help sell it versus just say, hey, people can come take a selfie with our pretty balloons or your backdrop. A couple of questions that came in was, how heavy is this to carry and transport?
Okay. So if you notice in this picture, sorry, I don't have it on presentation. This black square here, this is actually the carrying case. And all of this fits in there. I've shipped mine. I've done shows in Vegas twice. I've done one in Nashville where my clients wanted me to go with them. It all fits in there. When I've taken it to the airport, it weighs 61 pounds, but it does have wheels. It's like a regular suitcase. I don't pick it up that much. I wheel it around. Then when you take it all out, the bulk of the weight is this bottom little foot piece. This right here weighs 22 pounds, and that's to hold it in balance. And the upper part doesn't weigh that much, but it does have a fan system, so it keeps your iPad cool. So even if you do this outside, you can keep it operating. It keeps it cool. It doesn't overheat. Like sometimes on your phone, you'll see where it will say the phone's going to take a pause for so many minutes to cool down. iPad won't do that because of the fan that's in there.
That's a great tip. Questions come up is with some of the functions where it will send all the pictures to you afterwards. Is there a way to turn that off and on so that sometimes they aren't able to collect all the photos, or other times they are?
Yes, you can either do it with the live gallery, and that means every picture is shown in a gallery that goes out to the guests. Or you can turn off that function. When I do schools, proms, we turn that off because you don't want all the kids to have everybody's photo. The actual sending, when you finish the event, it gets sent to one email, which is your master email. So that comes to me. So then I can suggest to the client, do you want, like brides and grooms, sometimes they don't want the live gallery because they get a little fun at the end of the night, let's just say. And so I will send then all the pictures to the bride and groom, the next day or different things. So you definitely have control over that. There's also an automatic disclaimer on the salsa. So it's already pre-written, which grants you the right to use the photos however you want. And sometimes some people will say, no, I don't want that. Then their photo will not show up in the live gallery.
Another question is, what's your learning curve? How long did it take you to know how to operate and do everything?
The operating was really simple. It's an iPad, so it's just like using your phone and taking a selfie. That part was super easy. They have these courses that show you how to set up and do the app where you actually put in your borders and stuff. I would say by the third event, I wasn't having to go back and use the instructions at all. In 2021, I was asked to be a representative for them. So if you go on YouTube, you can see I have 10 or 12 different videos that show you how to set it up, how to do different things. I showed a lot of different things so that they could share that with their new um buyers. And so that's there. So just look up Lenor Ryan and you'll see it, or lights, camera, selfies. It's pretty easy.
Awesome. Yanni, did you have a question? I saw your hand was up earlier, but now I'm not seeing it. I didn't know if
I
it
wanted
got
to ask about, yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask about, do you do separate web pages? I know you said you added it as an add-on for 17 hats, but do you have a separate like page on your website? And I'm sorry, I just got distracted 2 minutes ago. So if you just said this, I apologize.
No, I do. Let me see. Are you still seeing my screen?
No.
Okay.
I see your screen.
Oh wait, I
Okay.
had to go back. Sorry.
You're still displaying your screen, Lenore.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to find this one real quick. What's coming up now is my overall sales package. And my page 2, which you can see down here, I have it as its own page. Again, I have the pictures of the photo booth because I want them to see the balloons and the different options, but the packages that I had on that slide, I have right here on this. I actually copied those over. This is my handheld one. This is us just pulling the photo booth behind us. And so if anybody wants this page to see how I wrote it up on different things, it's there. This side over here, I talk about the branding. If you want to have it branded, it just shows you, what we are, our steps. And, we have a fee there, but it really goes by what all they want and how much extensive work. I always have to bid that out separately for them. And then, yes, we do have, we use Balloon Suite for our web page, and there is a tab at the top that has photo booths, and you just get that and it pulls up.
So yeah, to answer your question, when I go to her website, it shows corporate balloons, pricing, birthday balloon deliveries, photo booths. So it's an extra, it's a tab on her website. All right. So guys, any other questions for Lenore about photo booths? Feel free to jump in and ask.
Lenore, do you have the printer option, or do you only just do the individual booths with the
So
digital?
each one of these systems does have the printer option. When I first started, I had the printer and it was a nightmare for me. That's what's going to break down in different things. Plus, so many people were leaving the photos behind. People were coming up afterwards and they were like, look, you said you took 280 pictures, because I have to charge like $1.40 a picture, because by the time you buy the paper and the ink and all of that, it's all there. So I got rid of my printers. I sold them. I am 100% digital, and I haven't had anybody not hire me because they couldn't have the printouts.
So I was going to say, for most of the events I ever go to with other companies in my area, I've not seen a printer in over 5 years. Like I think that those are great cautions that Lenore is giving people, because I did see that too, even back in my day, like 15 years ago, when I was doing a lot of mitzvah clients. At the end of the day, a lot of the people just left their pictures that were printed there, and you're like, man, that was a lot of wasted ink and time and everything. So I think in the world of everybody loving their digital photos, you don't need to feel like you need to have that printer and that extra headache of something that can go wrong.
I'm going to show you one other little thing. If you look right here in the center, you'll see that I'm offering a 360 booth. I don't own one. It's not mine. I have partnered with a lady that is local to me. She's probably 2 miles away from me, and she has the 360. She does not do the balloons. Anytime she has a salsa too, but anytime she sells a backdrop with balloons, it comes to me. And then I sell the 360, and the 360s go for a lot more than the photo booth. There's also a lot more cost and setup and everything, but she charges me $750 for bringing in the 360 and the employee and everything. And as you can see, I charge $990, and I haven't been getting backlash on that. And so I love it when somebody wants to buy the 360 because I'm not working it. I don't have to do anything except for collect and pay her. So that's something else you can do. Even if you don't have a photo booth, you're not purchasing one, and you know somebody in your area. Right now, the 360s are going for about $4,500 without the iPad or the function of the camera. And my insurance agent told me that the insurance for a 360 is about $280 a month because there is a lot of damage and different things. Right now, for my 3 photo booths, I'm only paying $80 a month, $82.50, I think it is. So that's just another option. If you want to make money and you don't want to invest in your own booth, you could visit somebody else and see if they would do a partnership with you.
Is that what they call white labeling?
Correct. Yes. And when she goes to the booth, she wears a lights, camera, selfie shirt. Everything said, they don't put out anything that says their name of their company. It all says lights, camera, selfies.
Alrighty. So just to let you guys know, I just had a flicker here of electricity. They're expecting storms in my area. If my internet goes down, then we're gone. So I'm throwing that out as a caveat that I'm not shutting you guys off on purpose, but as long as I still have internet, we will still be on because I have plenty of power in my computer. So somebody had mentioned they had gone to that link, but they just saw the other kind of selfie booths. And I think it's just that they've got a video at the beginning that has 360 booths on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the photos so people understand. So I'm going to share my screen. So you guys see that the company that she's been talking about, the photoboothsupplyco.com, when you go onto it, you will see like people dancing around in a 360, but all the other booths are there also. And is the coupon code linked into that QR code that you sent, or is it that they just need to say something like Lenor told me, or?
It's tied into that QR code. So they know because of the discount, like right now, they're not offering any discounts. And so you have to go in through that page to get the $100 off.
Gotcha.
Joette, we're seeing your computer desktop.
Thanks for letting me know that I had the wrong thing. Share screen. So you weren't seeing this one?
No.
Now we see it.
Okay, sorry that I had shown you something weird. All right, so the photoboothsupplyco.com is the place that she got them from, but make sure you use the QR code to get there so that you get the $100 off, which is good through the end of April, correct?
Correct. And if you see there where it says, see how much you can make, that's their pricing calculator. And if you scroll down, yeah, you do have to put in information, but it does take you over one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good.
It does tell you, different things on, what you can make. And okay, so now here, this is kind of cool. If you know what your market, like I said, my market is about $600. You just click on the black dot and you move it to the right or to the left. And then it shows you your payback of your months. And then on the right side, you put in how many events you think you'll have per month.
So what would
And
I
then they,
put?
yeah, they don't actually show you the answer. They'll still email it to you. So
Oh,
that's where
okay.
they're getting your email.
Gotcha.
But it's very cool. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see here where it says products, all the products are there. And so you can, the salsa booth is what I have. The guac and chips is the guac and chips is actually the same salsa booth, but it comes with a printer. And so they do have a package that comes all together with that. And then the let's see, these just show you some different options, and all of these are on the salsa program, the funny faces, the different things all around. And so
Cool.
you know, there's just different things. It shows you here how easy it is to take it apart. You don't need any tools.
Awesome.
Swimmer.
All right. Yanni, did you have a question? Ella, did you have a question? What I'm going to do is I'm
Yes,
going to go. I'm going to go ahead
Can you
and
hear
make
me?
sure that Lenore tells her information of how you can get in contact with her if you have other questions. Lenore, what's the best way people get a hold of you? And if you can text it into the box also, just in case I have a power outage, I want to make sure people have that.
Okay.
And
I mean, you
go ahead.
reaching me via Facebook or Instagram, or I'm going to put my number now, or you can text me. Either
And-
one. So, are we still recording?
Yeah, we're good. So I'll go ahead and have her type that information in. And then if you guys have other questions about training that's coming up, you can always email me, joette@BalloonCoach.com. And I do want to invite everybody to come to Balloon Boss Summit in Orlando in November. We always have selfie stations there. We always talk about other add-ons like this to help you decide what works best for your business. And for more information for that, go to BalloonCoach.com. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording for now so we can have some other open conversation.